Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about the power of imperfection. I want you to stick with me till the end because I'm going to share the one thing that you can do to kill it on social media. Okay, so now there's a lot of pressure in the world to be perfect. When we were young, it was painfully obvious, right? Back then, we all, at some point, experienced peer pressure and the judgment that came with it. And then as we got older, perfectionism showed up a little differently, right? There were expectations to show up perfectly dressed and perfectly prepared, to say the perfect thing when we were in a meeting. Or now in our digital lives, social media creates a warped view of perfection in the world. Why? Because people only post the perfect stuff, the perfect content, the perfect pictures and perfect selfies. That perfect moment at a party or at work or at a conference, that perfect blog post or article, that perfect design. In our professional lives, we're bombarded with perfection. And I don't know about you, but perfect things kind of bum me out. They make me feel less than, like I'm not doing enough perfect stuff. Because a lot of my stuff isn't perfect. A lot of my videos aren't perfect. I certainly create a lot of lame designs or mediocre articles. Maybe you've read some of them. But when I see all those perfect posts out there, I can't identify with them because they're not like me. They're not like what happens in my world, which is to say, they aren't flawed. They aren't real. They're too polished. As humans, we identify things we can relate to. We trust things that feel like us, that reflect the messiness in our real lives. Sure, we aspire to perfection. Sometimes it motivates us to try harder. It has its purpose, but it's harder to connect with it on a deeper human level. It creates what I like to call emotional distance. When it comes to marketing, you hear the word authenticity a lot, right? Why is that? It's because we know when something is too perfect, and when it is, it's harder to trust it. Another way to explain authenticity is to think about it in terms of relatability. Or yet another way to think about it is in terms of humanity. Humanity is inherently flawed, but our ability to curate what we post, or what we share about ourselves, or what we do, or what our company does, creates this warped view. It creates a projection of perfection. And as we've discussed before, perfection is harder to trust. When we build our businesses, our personal brands, when we promote ourselves, we're usually doing it to do three things. Get people to know, like, and trust us. Why? Because people buy things from people they know, like, and trust. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. As humans, we have a tendency to like people who are like us. That is, people who aren't perfect. Yes, we like people who work hard, who try hard, who are ambitious, but who are also, in a way, truly authentic. There's that word again. Successful businesses and successful people get successful because they can connect with their target customers. My friend Chris Ducker calls it P2P, people-to-people marketing. So, if being authentic is how you succeed in business, how do you do it? The answer is you do it by being vulnerable. You do it by posting things, producing things, sharing things that aren't perfect. You do it by letting people see the man behind the curtain, as they said in The Wizard of Oz. People love seeing how things work, how things are made. They love seeing what I like to call the messy middle, the moment before things come together, the moment before perfect. Why? Because they can identify with it. They can relate to it. It makes them like and trust you because you're like them. I want to take a quick break and tell you about a cool group I've started. It's a private Facebook group called Brand Design Masters. And it's a great community of entrepreneurs and creative professionals who are networking and getting feedback and sharing news and resources and trends with each other. It's a really cool and vibrant group. So I invite you to come over and join the Brand Design Masters Facebook group. You just go to facebook.com/groups/Brand Design Masters. So I'll see you over there. Okay, so now, this is the big question. If being vulnerable, being imperfect, showing the messy middle can help you connect with people, why doesn't everyone do it? I can answer that for you. Because it's scary. Well, it's not scary, it's effing terrifying. Why? Because everyone else out there is trying to show up as perfect. You're putting yourself out there in a big sea of perfect. But here's the thing. You've heard the branding axiom, different is better than better? Well, this is where that rubber hits the road. If you have the courage to share your true self, your behind the curtain, your messy middle, you can really connect with people. You can build trust and spark interest and gain followers and subscribers, eventually even leading to sales. In fact, Maybe you've experienced this too. A lot of times I see someone being vulnerable on a social media post, and invariably it sparks the most engagement, the most comments, the most interest, and the most identification from the people who read it. And people remember you for it. They connect with you on a deeper level. Now, it doesn't have to be some deeply embarrassing personal stuff. It can be a business challenge. It can be a failed project or a missed opportunity or something you have a question about that you're struggling with. There's one really huge bonus about showing up this way in your business on social media. And that is, if you're authentic, if you show up as the real you, warts and all, you never have to act. I was chatting with my friend Chris Derafeev on my podcast a while back, and he was telling me a story about a friend of his who will remain nameless, who built a huge YouTube channel, like millions of subscribers. And he did it by being outrageous. He did it by playing a part, a caricature of himself. He did it by acting. He did it by not being himself. And he made it big doing it. But now, a couple years in, he feels absolutely miserable. He hates doing his content. He hates that character that he created. He feels like a fraud, and he regrets ever showing up as not himself. So if you've been feeling bummed out by all the perfection like I have, if you've been feeling pressure to show up as perfect all the time in your content on social media, I encourage you to do an experiment. And this is that one thing I told you at the beginning of the video, that one thing to help you kill it on social media. And that is show up real. Show up somewhat flawed. Just slightly not so put together, and just see what happens. Share something real, something that happened that was challenging. And I don't mean, this is the challenge and I won. You know that kind of post. It's like the humble brag post, not one of those, okay? I mean something not perfect, not polished, bad lighting, messy hair, unedited, unwordsmithed blog post, an off-the-cuff short or a reel, something totally not thought through. Just be human. Don't be a brand bot. Then, after it's been posted a few weeks, come back and tell me in the comments what happened. So that's the power of imperfection. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell so you can get alerted when I post something new or when I go live. And if you need help with your content marketing or your social media or showing up not perfect, reach out to me at philipvandusen.com and let's get your business rocking. Thanks again, and bye for now.